Hey everyone, I bet you thought I was done making turtle shell videos. I thought I was done too, until I decided I really wanted to make a Bowser shell. So I did. I've updated the pattern to include the Bowser shell version, so make sure you grab that if you've already bought the pattern, and if you haven't bought the pattern, you could if you want. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make the Bowser shell, but I'm going to skim over a lot of the content that I've already covered in the previous 3 videos, so make sure you watch the turtle shell videos before you watch this. I'll put the links in the description. Let's make a Bowser shell.
Alright, curtain up, pattern printed and taped together, make sure it's printed actual size of course. Cut out the pattern, although this time you're going to follow any dotted lines you can find. Some of them even extend out beyond the solid lines because, well, that's just the way it is. There's also some extra pieces and they're pretty obvious because they only have dotted lines. Lay out all your pieces to confirm that everything makes sense, and lay them out on the textured side of a foam mat. I'm making size large here and it needed more than one mat to fit all the pieces. Also try not to spill your tea on your pattern pieces while you're tracing. Just one more good reason not to drink and craft. Of course, I like to live on the edge. Grab a foam box from your basement and fill it up with all the scraps you make as you cut your foam at an inward angle around all those pieces. We'll save those from the landfill and use them for something amazing later. Now you can trim, sand, and heat form your pieces just like I showed you in the other videos. Then you can glue them all in place with your glue and your hands. I did find it helpful to have a bit of support underneath the shell, especially for the side pieces. Thanks, bag of foam. Okay, now here's where things start to get a little bit different. We're going to get some pipe insulation from the hardware store to use as the puffy rim around the shell. I'm using insulation made for a 3/4 inch pipe here. And yes, I am a ninja. You want your pipe insulation to bite around the edge of your shell, kinda like a little Pac-Man. Now make a measurement from the edge of the foam mat to the edge of the pipe insulation and then subtract a little bit. In my case, that's about 3 centimeters. Follow along the outside edge, making marks that are 3 centimeters away from the shell pieces. Pull out a secret cutting board and cut along those lines that you just marked. Here's where I wasn't quite 100% happy with the outside shape of the shell. I thought that corner was just a little bit too hard right there, so I cut it off. And yes, I've updated the pattern with the newer shape. You can see how I used the part I cut off to transfer that adjustment onto the pattern piece. Just thought I'd share that in case it's helpful for anyone in their pattern changing. Now carefully heat up the top corners of the shell, remembering that you've used hot glue on there and don't want to remelt it too bad. Form those corners so they bend in a little bit. You also might want to form the sides so they curve in a bit as well. Okay, for this next part, you absolutely must have an adjustable temperature glue gun. And this is because hot glue is just going to melt right through that pipe insulation. So make sure your hot glue gun is turned as cold as possible and give a test before you start going crazy. I'm using 3-foot lengths of pipe insulation here, so I'm going to have to glue them end to end to get a long enough piece. Start with that join right in the middle of the neck for symmetry. Now you see that ugly yellow tape on the pipe insulation? That's covering up an adhesive that's meant to stick to itself when you wrap the insulation around a pipe. Sadly, that adhesive is just not strong enough to be of use to us, and it is more of a pain than anything. You'll want to peel that away from each section just before you glue it. The trickiest part are these curves around by the neck, so just take them slow and just do a small amount at a time, making sure that you're holding the foam in place until the glue has completely cooled. Right now we're only gluing the pipe insulation to the top side of the turtle shell, and once that's all glued, we'll go back around and glue on the back side. You can see here that I ended up using 2 and a bit of my 3-foot pipe insulation pieces. A little bit of glue to hold the 2 ends together, and it's time to flip and do the other side. Again, those corners take a little bit of work, but you can kind of massage them into place so they look pretty good. With the corners done, the rest is pretty straightforward. If you don't like cracks very much, you can grab some latex caulking and fill them all in. Remember the Bowser spike pattern you probably cut out at the beginning? Well, now's your chance to trace 12 of them on some foam. However, you're going to want to use thinner foam for this, so I'm using 6mm thick foam here. Once you've traced 12 larger size, cut on the inside dotted line and trace 8 of the smaller size. Cut them all out with just a regular vertical style cut. You'll also want to use your sharp knife to taper off the foam thickness at the top point of each horn piece. Take your pieces in sets of 2 and start gluing them together, gluing a short section at a time. I do have a whole video tutorial about making horns, so rather than go into a ton of depth here, I'll just include that link in the video description and you can go and watch it. Then you'll know all about making all kinds of horns. They are pretty straightforward. The main trick is just trying to get the point of the horn looking nice. And that generally involves getting hot glue on your fingers. So that's another reason that I strongly suggest having a variable temperature glue gun. Then you don't burn your fingers off. A bit of foam scrubbing gets rid of the extra hot glue, and some hand manipulation makes it look a bit more even. And in no time at all, you've finished one horn, out of 10. Once the horns are finished, trace their positions on the center of each shell plate. You should have 4 smaller horns, and they go on shell plates 5 and 7. Next, grab some 5/8 inch foam backer rod. I don't know exactly what it's for, but I found it at the hardware store, and it's great for wrapping around the base of the spikes. Cut it to the right length, and then realize you need to trim a little bit more off for a nice tight fit. There we go. Glue the ends of the ring together, again using not hot glue, because this is the same type of foam as the shell rim, and it will melt if it gets too hot. Now put down a bead of glue all around the base of the spike, and then gently push up the ring until the bottom edge of the ring extends a bit past the base. That should help the ring to make contact with the shell when we're gluing it down. But before we start gluing spikes down, we've got to paint the shell. You can check out my turtle shell painting video for painting tips. The main thing here is I'm not painting the circles where the spikes go, so that when it's time to glue them down, they adhere to the foam shell, not the paint. Use some white paint to give the spikes a nice base coat, being kinda careful but not super careful to not get any on the ring. Once the base coat is dry, violently squeeze out all the remaining paint left in your white paint tube. Add a drop of burnt umber to your paint pile and mix it in with part of an old gift card. You can always add another drop of brown if you want the color to go a little darker. We're aiming for a bone sort of color, so you might want to add a bit of yellow to that as well. Grab one of your spikes and paint it with your custom-made bone color to make it look like a bone-colored spike. Now, while that paint is still wet, we want to add some darker lines to give it a bit more texture and interest. You can see I just dried off my brush on the paper, and now I'm getting just the tiniest bit of brown on the tips of my brush bristles. I'm using a super light touch starting at the base of the spike and then kind of feathering off as it goes up. You'll notice I almost never go over any section twice, and between each swipe I always get more paint on my brush. If you start to notice some of the bone-colored paint accumulating on your brush, just give it a few swipes on the paper to clean it off. Once I've gone around the whole spike once with somewhat longer strokes, I do the same thing one more time, but this time with shorter strokes, just concentrating on the area right around the base and trying to get that a little bit darker. I know it seems a little time consuming at first, but I found with a little practice near the end, it was taking me about 5 minutes per spike. So that's not too bad. Once the spikes are dry, it's time to paint the rings. I happen to have a big old bottle of bright red paint, which was a little too bright, so I added some brown to calm it down. Then all I had to do was paint the ring without getting any red paint on the spike. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm kind of pulling back on the ring with my fingers to open up that gap as much as possible. I'm also not painting all the way around the bottom, so that when I glue, it glues to the foam and not to the paint. You'll probably want 2 coats to get a nice color, and make sure you have somewhere to put your spikes while they dry, like a little paint jar. A couple coats of carefully applied white paint finish off the outer rim around the shell. I will say that my white felt a little too stark, so I did add a tiny bit of brown to it. You might also want to paint the underside of the shell, because some of that could be visible. And now it's time for the last but most awesome step of gluing the spikes to the shell. Apply a generous amount of hot glue on the border between the ring and the base of the spike, and then hold it down in place, specifically concentrating on pressing the ring down against the shell. Make sure you hold that in place until the glue has fully cooled, so that the ring doesn't have a chance to pull itself away from the shell. And that, my friends, is a pretty cool Bowser shell.
Alright, we're done. That was fun, and it turned out amazing, so that's a win-win. The only reservation I have with this build is the foam pipe insulation that I used as the rings and the outside rim. And that's because it's made of polypropylene plastic, which paint doesn't really adhere to very well. So my guess is that if you get a lot of rubbing or friction on this outside rim, then probably the paint will wear off. These ones in the middle, not so big of a deal because nothing's really going to rub on them, but the outside is a problem. The other thing is that it's very susceptible to the heat of your hot glue gun. So you really got to turn that glue gun down, and even then you have to be careful. So those are the two things that aren't perfect, but I still feel like the cheap accessibility of this type of foam makes it a good choice. You probably could find some EVA foam rods or dowels, probably definitely this smaller size and maybe this bigger size. You will probably find that they are quite a bit more expensive, but might be worth it. Also, this is size large from the turtle shell pattern. I haven't tried it on the other sizes. I will extend the pattern to those other sizes, but I'm probably not going to try it out. So if you try it and something goes horribly wrong, please let me know and I can fix it. Also, if you're looking to buy this pattern, just look for the turtle shell pattern because it's not going to have a separate Bowser shell pattern. They're both included on the same one, so that's where it'll be. Don't get fooled. I think that's all I have to say. I guess I could try it on and show you what I think it might look like. I don't know if you can see this. Boom, 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 boom. Hopefully. Anywho. All right, I think that's all I have to say. You can find the pattern link in the description or maybe somewhere around here. Thanks for watching. See ya.